Fort Meade, Maryland, August 25, 2015. A quiet military housing neighborhood, the kind of place where safety is taken for granted. But on this morning, that illusion was shattered. A welfare check led police to a scene of unimaginable horror. Inside the home of 24-year-old Karlyn Ramirez, they found her body. She had been shot multiple times. Lying beside her, miraculously unharmed, was her 5-month-old daughter, Riley. The sheer brutality of the crime, committed in the sanctity of her own home, sent shockwaves through the base. Who would target a young mother, and why? This was no random act. This was personal, cold, and calculated. The immediate focus, as is tragically common in these cases, fell on the husband. Sergeant Marcus Jackson, Karlyn's husband and Riley's father, was deployed overseas at the time of the murder. Or so he claimed. His alibi seemed solid, placing him hundreds of miles away. Yet, investigators couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. They learned the couple's marriage was deeply troubled, marked by arguments and infidelity. But how could he have committed the murder while deployed? This became the central, frustrating puzzle for the Anne Arundel County Police. They had their primary suspect, but his physical absence presented a seemingly insurmountable barrier to justice. The initial investigation was plagued by red herrings. A neighbor reported seeing a suspicious vehicle, a dark sedan, speeding away from the scene early that morning. Police also looked into Karlyn's recent activities, including a possible romantic relationship outside of her marriage. They chased leads involving disgruntled acquaintances and potential stalkers. Every minute spent on these tangential paths allowed the real killer to solidify their story. Detectives knew they had to be meticulous, but the pressure to solve a murder on a military base was intense, and the public demanded answers. The case threatened to become another unsolved mystery, lost in the bureaucracy of military jurisdiction. As the investigation deepened, the facade of a perfect military marriage crumbled entirely. Records showed a history of domestic disturbances and accusations of abuse. Karlyn had documented instances of emotional and physical control exerted by Jackson. This history provided the crucial motive the police were looking for: control and rage. Karlyn was preparing to leave him, and Jackson stood to lose everything, including access to their daughter. The police realized they weren't just looking for a killer. They were looking for a man who had systematically terrorized his wife, and who saw murder as the only way out of his predicament. Despite the strong motive, the case stalled. Jackson maintained his innocence and his alibi held up, at least superficially. The physical evidence was minimal. The gun used was never recovered. For 2 agonizing years, the case went cold. Karlyn's family waited, hoping for a break that seemed increasingly unlikely. The file sat on a shelf, a constant reminder of a killer walking free. But cold cases are never truly dead. They just need the right spark, the right piece of information to reignite the investigation. And in 2017, that spark finally arrived, not through forensic science, but through human conscience. The breakthrough came from an unexpected source, a former associate of Marcus Jackson. This witness, haunted by what they knew, finally came forward to police. They revealed that Jackson had meticulously planned the murder, not while deployed, but immediately before his deployment. Jackson had taken unauthorized leave, driven hundreds of miles, committed the murder, and then rushed back to his unit, establishing a false timeline that initially fooled investigators. This testimony blew his alibi apart. It painted a picture of calculated deception, a man who used his military duties as a shield for murder. The puzzle pieces finally began to click into place. With the new testimony, police revisited the evidence, now viewing it through the lens of Jackson's calculated timeline. They found digital footprints and cell phone pings that contradicted his claims of being far away. The witness also provided crucial details about the murder weapon, a .40 caliber handgun, and how Jackson had acquired and disposed of it. The picture was clear. Jackson had executed a complex plot to murder his wife, ensuring his deployment would serve as his perfect, unassailable alibi. He had underestimated the power of guilt and the tenacity of the detectives who refused to let Karlyn's case fade away. But the story didn't end with Jackson alone. The investigation revealed that Jackson might not have acted entirely by himself. Evidence suggested that an accomplice, possibly another soldier or associate, may have helped him establish the false alibi or dispose of the weapon. While Jackson was the undisputed triggerman, the possibility of a conspiracy added another layer of darkness to the case. This revelation underscored the depth of Jackson's plan. He had leveraged his connections and manipulated others to ensure Karlyn's death looked like the act of a phantom killer. The hunt for justice expanded, seeking accountability for everyone involved in this cold-blooded plot. In 2018, Marcus Jackson was finally arrested and charged with the murder of Karlyn Ramirez. The evidence, built meticulously over years, was overwhelming. The jury saw through his calculated lies and the manufactured alibi. Jackson was convicted and sentenced to life in prison. Justice, though delayed, was finally served for Karlyn. Her life was cut short by the man who vowed to protect her, but her memory lives on through her daughter, Riley. This case serves as a grim reminder that sometimes, the greatest dangers lurk not in the shadows outside, but within the confines of our own homes. Karlyn Ramirez deserves to be remembered, and her killer deserves to be forgotten behind bars.